It is the new year, it's 2022, and welcome to Tour Front. This is officially our debut on video. My name is Jay. What's up, Chuck?
What's up, Jay? What's up to the listeners and viewers?
That's what it is. Okay, straight into the show, right? First up, Chuck, Proteas versus India. The series is tied at 1-1. India took a 1-0 lead. Proteas came back in that second test match. Last test match coming up at Newlands. And my question to you is, what do we, the Proteas, need to do to bring this one home?
I think as good as our bowling display has been, we just need to tighten it up a bit. I think people like Ngidi need to come to the party, because as much as he came to the fore in the second innings, India, if he could give us an entire game where he's producing, where Olivier and Janssen, the new bowler, who's bowled very well, comes to the party, I think then we can win the test match, because we can't rely on Dean Elgar to hold the innings together. And as a result, we need to keep this as a low scoring game. If we're chasing, if we bat second and we're chasing 200, 250, that's reasonable. Once we get to 300s and more, I don't think we've got the firepower, because our batting so far has not been that good. I mean, never mind, Peterson scored a half century. Elgar's been very good. Temba has contributed. Van der Dussen has contributed, but that's just once in about 4 available innings. So I think we need to be amazing in the field, and that's how you win a test match. That's our strategy, because we don't have the firepower. I think also because Kohli's coming back, so we don't want to go fire. We don't want to fight fire with fire, because we don't have our version of a Kohli right now.
The batting is the issue up to this point. So we lean so heavily on our bowling, right? I don't think I can make a commentary on that side in terms of disappointment. The only thing would be Kesh, because Kesh hasn't taken a wicket, and he hasn't really controlled the innings from the other end either. So for me, actually, I was saying this to you, that I'd like to see us go into a test match with just a pace lineup. The West Indies did it successfully in the 70s and 80s. Why not us? When you hear what comes out of the camp, though, the other Proteas, they seem to think that Kesh does have a role to play, and we might find ourselves in a situation where it's the 4th innings, India are chasing, and the pitch has deteriorated, and you need a spinner. But we know also about India is that they are raised on spin, and I don't quite see a spinner going into the test match, and especially on the conditions that are prevalent in South Africa, and winning the test match for us. So for me, I'd actually want to see Janssen get another go in the Proteas team to add that depth in batting, because if we go full pace, then there's the question of our tail. Then it becomes a bit too long, right? So I would, first of all, I would sit Kesh, and I would bring Janssen in. He's another one to add to our pace attack, and he has some batting in him. Hasn't been great up to this point, unlike Temba Bavuma, who has been great, which would be the second change that I would make. I'd love to see Temba at number 3. Because up to this point, unfortunately, we saw Markram was great in the T20 World Cup. And we were thinking that he's finally going to come into his own. He's going to be the guy that we need at the top of the batting lineup, who is going to set the tone, and everyone is going to follow from there. He is, so to speak, we are looking to him to be the second coming of Graham Smith, just as a right-hander, that big burly presence up at the top who sets the tone for the innings. But that hasn't happened, and he's tended to lose his wicket early. And when you look at what Temba has done from the number 5 position, I believe he's been consistent. He's only been dismissed twice in this series thus far, and he's put up those scores. And in my estimation, if thus far within the middle lineup, if he's been our best batsman, then we should put him there at number 3 to stabilize the innings if that's what is needed, and to give him some time to bat longer, because we're not sticking around much.
Yeah, I think I agree with you there, because in number 3 we've got Peterson, who is putting out fires that he can't necessarily put out, because India's bowling attack is great,
and that's a vital position to get right.
Yeah, so I mean, if Temba comes in earlier, because he's not the quickest run scorer, and if he can get settled and hold the innings together, then I'm sure by the time maybe if Van der Dussen comes in or Peterson himself comes in, there's a bit more freedom in terms of what the numbers are on the board. Maybe it's 100 for 3 as opposed to 20 for 3, because at that point in time you need to score, but at the same time be responsible with your wicket, which hasn't proved to be one of our best qualities thus far in the test. So I do think Temba moving up could be great, because also Peterson hasn't had too many test games under his belt, so that's a lot of responsibility for a newbie.